All-time high, niggas.
Absolutely.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another exciting episode of Watch Them Thrones.
Queen mother.
What you got on?
Queen mother.
Oh Lord. She look like the nigga who be crying at the camera talking about let me go.
Working every day of the week.
Let me tell y'all what, I'm surprised that y'all don't know how to dress for a motherfucking Westeros wedding. This how you dress, and I got the shoes to match.
Oh shit!
What is this?
Man, we like 30 seconds in.
She got some Jesus wept foes
If I
on.
got to run, I can run my ass up out of there.
She got some
Yeah,
Jesus wept
So
foes
that's how
on.
you do that.
Yes,
that's
indeed.
the Wormwood Tree threes, dog.
Like that girl look like she know how to cook the meanest pot of brown stew
No, not a bowl of brown.
in the after church.
I did.
So
I
listen.
cooked my slow roasted chicken. I cooked my slow oven chicken for the repast and everything.
Was in the red keep when no one else was there helping you get on your feet.
This nigga thing. Hey.
So look, we got a lot of shit going on. This has been a highly anticipated episode. But before we get into that, it's a special day. Today is Celestial, Mother of Pomeranian's birthday. So join us in wishing Celestial a happy motherfucking birthday.
Happy motherfucking birthday, nigga.
Birthday.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday.
What is
it?
Now, I ain't gonna ask you how old you are,
47.
but we all know you old enough to read and also old enough to, you know.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
shit!
you're
Wait
Wait
a minute.
Come on, child. You 47?
47.
You 47? You ain't no goddamn 47.
Right.
Mel-
I was
Melanie.
gonna say it. I'm
47 for real. You 47.
Yeah.
Wait.
Happy
You
birthday.
are
Surprised that black hasn't cracked. Okay, like why y'all?
I know, I get it. Okay, some black cracks a little bit. Hey, let's be honest. Y'all niggas don't just make that shit a universal thing. All right, like you 47.
I'm 47 today.
Jeez.
Well, you look good, as juvenile say.
Girl,
As
you
juvenile
look
say.
good.
Yeah, you look good. Oh,
Man, hey, it is a wedding. It is a wedding
Drop the
tonight.
track.
It is a wedding.
Hey, you been smoking?
huh? What say that?
You look higher than Vagar vagina.
Damn.
If I am.
Hey, look,
That damn virus.
birthday and a wedding, y'all. That damn virus.
That damn
Damn
bird.
birthday.
Damn bird.
Not bird. Not bird.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Where the
Okay.
cake is.
Now,
Goddamn.
that's not true.
All right. So
That's not true at all.
That is
I
not
won't
true.
even exactly.
we got a lot of shit to cover. So we gonna
All right.
We gonna get into it, and we gonna try to get into this shit in an orderly, less niggly fashion. So let's see how that goes.
Good luck with that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can't
We
be
already off track.
No sniggling this
Yeah.
week.
So
Caught me
I
on
ain't
the
make no
list.
promises.
this is episode 4. No, episode
Yeah, okay.
9. Goddamn, I'm tripping. Season 3.
You've
So
been smoking.
since it's your birthday, Celeste, we want you to start us off with the first scene.
Okay. So we show up, we're in the tent with Rob and Catelyn. And Rob is like, listen, I think we need to run down on Castle Rock. And at first Caitlin was like, is you crazy? Like, where they do that at? We not running up on we're not running up on them like that. Like they holding it down. We can't run up on them. So Rob gives his explanation as to why he thinks it's a good move. So Caitlin hits him with the all right, do what you do, but we got to go get Walder Frey and them on board because we got to get this wedding popping. And then we go to Walder Frey, and somebody else can pick it up from there.
It do be facts though.
That's accurate.
So I'll pick it up from there. So listen,
From there.
the look, the one thing I took from that scene was when he said he wanted to talk to her, she was like, what you want to talk to me for?
Right.
You know, my boy was like, well, normally you fuck up, but you told me about Theon, bitch ass. So
He was right by that shit.
you was right about that nigga. So I'm trying to fuck with you, but you making it hard. So
At the 11th hour.
right.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, really, Cat was right about all the shit. Rob the one
Yeah,
who fucking up.
that's right.
That's true.
That's right.
One thing Cat was wrong about was about Jamie. That's it.
It
Release
was
Jamie.
letting Jamie go. And if you're gonna
Yep.
blame a mother for letting a nigga go by her children, then fuck it.
Like,
Yeah,
Right.
just
I feel like I trying to let her off the hook. She's still stupid.
Damn.
yeah, I'm telling you, she may have done a couple of stupid things, but I think we just fault Cat because she's just a horrible ass mama. But she wasn't.
Yeah,
that
was a shit mama.
Yeah, she's a bullshit ass mama. But I don't think she
She was actually a pretty good tactician.
She actually was.
He had some good strategy, man. When it came to talking about him being backed up against the water and everything. So,
But them motherfuckers fucked up when they let their emotions get the best of them.
Yeah.
You know, the ending scene was basically like,
Well,
you know,
well, you know
take-
what? I think
take
My
what
bad.
they value the most.
Yeah, I think that was kind of also them making peace with one another after
Right, but see the whole thing, right? That whole scene, I was rewatching that shit, and I was like, these niggas are saying "if" a lot.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of if Walder Frey, if the fucking Lannisters don't sneak us out, if this happens. Like, nigga, there's too many ifs for me. Like,
right.
you playing with my life, nigga. I need to minimize the amount of ifs.
You know what? What's good? What's significant about that though? It takes you all the way back to when they first made the decision to do that shit. When they first made the decision to do that shit.
Right.
Like seriously, when they first made the decision to even concoct that plan with Walder Frey, they were talking the same goddamn way as they were at that moment, and so the fact that they are unsure even in this moment is right in line with
Right. If you're not sure by
what's
this
got
point,
them,
you
what's
ain't
led
gonna.
them to this point.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
unsure because of who they fucking with. Like Catelyn knew goddamn well what that was gonna mean for Rob to break his oath. So yeah, she had every reason in the world to be concerned because she was the one really that made that promise that Rob would marry one of his daughters in the first place. So as much as Rob crossed Walder Frey, Catelyn did.
Yep.
So
I guess
so
we
gotta do
so
better.
Valeria, since you talking about them talking to Walder Frey, that kind of leads us into the actual next scene where them niggas arrive at the twins and they actually start talking to Walder Frey.
Yeah.
Whole piece.
Take us through that a little bit.
I like the accuracy too and how they portrayed the scene right from the book. A lot of the lines literally come, direct word for word, right from the book from this scene, all the way up to him sitting in the Oakwood chair. and the shit that he had on. So he's going through. Rob comes in. They making peace. One thing I wanted everybody to observe was, and it seemed I never noticed this the first time through. I just noticed this literally today on the rewatch. They put heavy camera emphasis on the salt and bread, which was basically that's the law of guest rights. So like whenever you're at the castle or the home of somebody else, there's the law of guest right. If they give you food, salt, bread, butter, whatever, they can't kill you under their roof, so to speak. But so you see these niggas eating salt and butter and shit. So it's like that's basically them saying, okay, these niggas are safe now because they ate the salt and butter and shit. So Rob is talking to Walder Frey. Walder Frey is basically like, look, you got to apologize to me. You got to apologize to my ugly ass daughters. So he haul off all their ugly ass names, and he get that one. What tripped me out? He got that one girl name wrong like 3 times. She's like, man, I'm married. My Walder,
she had the easiest name out of everybody.
My girl was
like, all right, whatever.
Nigga, I'm married. And so
whatever.
And Rob goes through his whole little speech or whatever to apologize to them. Making amends. But again, I like the fact that even his speech, his apology, is taken right from the book.
Walder was like, man, fuck that apology.
He sure was.
For real.
But facts. Like, nigga, you ain't in love. Let me see the nigga. Bring that bitch up here by me. Let me see the bitch.
Hey, hold up. Let me just say this comment real quick. This ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. But Pete Mulatto said, with everyone on screen in their own box, it looks like the Atlanta version of the Brady Bunch. God,
that's real shit. That's real shit. Pete Mulatto, you on point with that one, my brother. You don't know my mixed brother. One of the things about Walder Frey, which was fucking hilarious. Like, by the way, shout out to David Bradley, who is the actor who played this nigga, because he was the janitor on Harry Potter too. So he's always like played these old, fucking almost like just decrepit like people who are just fucking just don't give a
Crazy
shit.
People.
Right. But that nigga almost blew it with Rob, because he was testing the waters to the point where he almost fucked up the plan. He was in his bag so much that when that nigga called on Talisa, he was like, bitch, come here. Bring your ass over here.
I see what's happening up under
I
that.
know a fucking motherfucker when I see one.
Right.
Hey, that's exactly what I always know what's up under a dress. That nigga look like an old ass creep.
He been doing it for a long time.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. What's
I'm
up?
still trying to figure out
Straight out verbal rape. That was verbal. Everything he said, and
it was.
Yeah.
It was straight verbal rape.
Rob was about to get with it.
That upset me.
He was a nasty motherfucker for sure.
I mean, but you know what though? But this also shows the lack of respect motherfuckers really have for Rob. Because if he thought that Rob was the true king, he wouldn't have said half the shit he said.
Nah.
Yeah.
That nigga was getting away with just. I mean, like, I get it. He's in his bag. You kind of being kind of, like, you kind of treated the phrase like shit. I get all that. But I don't know, man, bro. Like, that nigga was in his bag with talking shit.
He said this nigga Rob just sat up here and told me he did it for love, but it looked like he did it for some nice tits and a firm grip, or like a tight fit. I'm like, yeah. I mean, that sound accurate, my nigga. Like,
hey, Rob was ready to ride on his
I call it a pretty face.
Rob was ready to on his old ass.
Hell yeah, shit.
Hey, that
But
nigga
then
Walter
he also
low-key
said
was
she
spitting,
definitely do look better than the rest of these ones standing around here.
He didn't tell them but the truth.
How you gonna say daughters though?
That's why he say the best for last, nigga. He had that big joke in his
when
bag.
that nigga was calling them names out, Edmure was looking busted and disgusted, boy. Every fucking name he called out, Edmure was like, ugh. That nigga jumped at every one of them. And that nigga Edmure was looking like them bitches was saying, boo.
Freytasia, Waldrina. That nigga said, God damn,
That nigga
nigga said,
was disgusted.
He said there's some twins up in this motherfucker. You can have either one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Or
both. Both all I can.
My boy said they so ugly. Take them both, nigga. I don't know.
That motherfucker said she hasn't bled yet, but apparently you ain't patient for that.
You ain't got the patience for that shit, my nigga.
Bro, he was really reading his ass though. Like
He
I
was
mean,
reading his ass, bro.
Man.
he definitely got some shots in, dog. He's
Man,
slick.
hey,
Dog.
Rob definitely got tight though when he got on Talisa's ass. When he got to talking about how she take that dress off, everything stay fit. Rob ass wanted to step forward. Catelyn had to put that arm on my boy. Like, hey, you already fucked up.
I think Rob did have a lot of dip on his chip up in that man's house though.
Yeah, he did.
We'll talk about that later though.
Yeah, he did. But dog, that the one part that's just super funny to me though was Mary. My nigga called her. And she's like, "It's Mary." He's like, "Whatever, bitch."
Fine. That nigga fine.
Mary.
Waldina.
Right.
That nigga said
Mary.
That bitch is Mary.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And the wine will flow red. That's what that nigga said. The wine
Yeah, he
will
did say
flow
that
red.
shit. He said the music would play loud too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Wine will flow red.
Mm-hmm. He was telling them how it was gonna go down.
Yeah,
To them, it just sounded like a very lit function at the time.
Yeah.
So we go from that scene to we're at Yunkai where we got Daenerys topping it up with Jorah the Explorer and all of them. I want you, Christmas tree Jamila, to take us through that.
The tree is mine.
Oh shit, did she leave? Oh,
A year-round celebration, bitches. But no, yeah. So they in a room here. They strategizing or whatever. They trying to take the city. But at the same time, you got this little kind of. I guess Dario's still trying to show off or whatever. He's completely dampening the undercarriage of Khaleesi.
I'm sorry, say what now?
Off to the side, like, hating on him.
Excuse me, he's what?
what?
See, what was said?
Dampening the
What was said?
Yeah, so yeah, but then it's also a back and forth kind of between Dario and Jorah, because Jorah is of course not liking that at all, that he pushing up on his woman like this. This is all that's happening. You got Grey Worm standing by, just sipping up the tea. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're coming up with this plan of how they're gonna take the city. And Dario's talking about how, we ain't gotta all go through the front door. Just let me go through the back. I got homies at the gate. They're gonna let me in. I'm gonna kill them. Then I'm gonna go to the front, let y'all in the front door. But then of course Jorah is suspicious of this, right? So he just like, well, how we know you're not setting us up? You could be setting us up. So you
My
probably
boy
made
said
some
you
kind of
sound
deal
like a
with the
hating ass
people in
nigga.
Jorah motherfucking ass with cock block.
That nigga Joe said, "Pretty motherfucker." I never trusted his ass anyway.
Right.
Like,
But then Dario fixed that shit right away. He was like, you know what? You real suspicious, but you know what kind of people are suspicious like that?
Yeah.
People you can't trust. So then he just had to shut up and go with it, like, because he want to keep making himself look bad, not to Khaleesi.
Damn.
Season 3 Dario
Emily
was
Show
so
said
much
Dario
colder
put
than
that
season
dude
4.
on that Targaryen.
So y'all saying she was moist.
Listen, dampening the undercarriage. I'm gonna use that. I'm definitely gonna use that.
Oh shit.
Shit.
Yeah, that's what was happening in that room. It was a
Had
lot.
us-
We find out, goddamn, you
Yeah.
using that shit in text messages.
Had us sitting on Driftmark.
God up in there singing a great song. He is like no new friends. I don't know this nigga. Like
Yeah, Jordan, though, man. He like, nigga, I almost died for this shit twice.
No, though,
It's
like
my
the
turn.
you gonna come up in here and get
in majority, And George told Sir Bears to stay. That nigga was like, nigga, you older than me.
Yeah, stay your old ass.
We don't need you.
Your old ass back here with Khaleesi.
Nigga, back and watch the Queen. Goddamn.
Sir Barristan wanted to get in on a piece of the action. You can't blame him.
Every day he had to fight just to prove he goddamn love.
What I do like about that though is that, you know, she was like, you know, Grey Worm, you a leader, nigga. So
yeah,
you know what you think. And my boy like, shit, let's fight. Fuck it.
Right.
Always on go mode.
Yeah.
Cool.
Grey Worm just be waiting for the talk to be over so he could get in.
What were they trying to get though? Like, what was the point of them trying to? What were they after?
Trying to free Yunkai, nigga.
What, nigga? They were trying to take the city. They were trying to sneak
free Yunkai, nigga.
Nigga, I fast forward past that part so I can see the
God damn.
Like, what were they trying to get?
Nigga,
everything.
I just heard. I saw a Jorah hating and the nigga Dario trying to motherfucking finesse some pussy. So I'm like, look at this. That's all I saw.
I'm fucking glad you asked CJ about this goddamn scene. Shit.
Right. Nigga Cliff Notes.
That nigga ain't
I wish I could see my notes today, dog. They so motherfucking slow.
CJ, what they were trying to do?
That nigga was trying to finesse some pussy.
Like, nigga, take the city of Yunkai, nigga.
Take the city of Yunkai, my nigga. Or Yunkai is the fucking nigga.
Yunkai.
I don't know which one of you niggas said Yunkai. What do you niggas say?
Hey, I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. How about that? God damn it. Yunkai, Cobra Kai. I don't give a fuck.
Nigga, her name Mary.
So that's so funny. She told us on screen.
Goddamn.
Put that on me. Oh boy.
Woo! You niggas are hilarious.
I cannot put y'all tonight.
Bro, I know the straightforward ass is upset tonight, goddamn it, boy. I don't even care neither.
Man, them niggas wanted that Game of Thrones shit tonight, nigga. You niggas are
right.
crap.
Right.
So we gonna get right back on track.
We get right back.
So the next scene, we find ourselves in a haunted forest, and we got Sam leading Gilly, you know, talking, and she asking him questions. He giving her all these answers and shit, and she was like, "Well, how did you know that?" And he was like, "Bitch, I read." And she was like, "You know all of this by looking at little squiggles and lines on paper? You must be some type of nigga wizard."
And that's all he needed to hear. He was like,
That's
I
all
love
he
this girl.
needed to hear. He smiled so hard.
Speaking of dancing in the undercarriage,
she moistened that nigga undercarriage when she did
I was
that.
just that was in the undercarriage. That nigga was
That
moist.
nigga
She
Sam
always
was wet.
seemed a little bit agitated
That
though, like when
nigga
he
was moist.
Yes, I say it again.
And but y'all know who that shit is though? And but y'all know what that is? That's fucking George R.R. Martin. You know, Sam is George R.R. Martin. George R.R. Martin is Sam.
Wow.
So like
Facts.
when that shit is happening, like that's George R.R. Martin basically talking to hoes. that's what he envisions himself when he's talking to the hoes, right? It's like
Facts.
it's like motherfuckers are like, oh, okay, because Sam is a little bit of a Mary Sue character. So like, you know, so when Gilly is impressed by Sam's intellect, that's how George R.R. Martin looks at himself when he's talking to women, or when he hopes that women thinks of him, which is that
ego.
reason why Sam is like,
She was stroking his ego.
The book smart nigga who don't know how to do shit else. That's George R.R. Martin.
I don't think she'd be impressed. To me, it seemed like she be getting annoyed. Like she feel when he starts speaking too intelligently that she feel like he trying to make her look dumb. Like she even said something to that effect before. Like you be using all these fancy words, like trying to go over my head and stuff. Like I don't think she like it.
I don't know if she knows
the fact that hey, you doing this again.
I don't know if she knows what dumb is because, like, I mean, her fucking.
She's too dumb to know what dumb is.
Like for one, when they got to the wall, when she got to the wall, this bitch was like, her father or fucking. I wrote down. I said your father / our father / your grandfather / my baby daddy used to tell us the fucking if a wildling saw the fucking wall, they would get killed. Like
grandpa.
This bitch is completely fucking broken as a person. And so
you know what though? You know what? When it comes to Gilly's respect for Sam or whatever, like I think maybe before the whole incident with the White Walker, she maybe felt that way about him when he talked about shit, but she felt differently after he actually stood up for her. And she, you know, that nigga did kill a White Walker. She saw
all
him do
Sam
it.
had to do was fucking kill a goddamn immortal being.
Yeah, I mean, a nigga got to do what a nigga got to do. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what you got to do for that quality of woman.
Right? Yeah. Like we're not talking about Marjorie.
Imagine
we're talking about fucking Gilly.
To kill a fucking White Walker for Gilly.
We ain't talking about Marjorie. We're talking about Danny.
That nigga had for Gilly. Oh, child mouth ass hoe.
I mean,
I take fucking Egret over fucking Gilly ass and
golly. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Sam put in work, you know what I mean? So,
what they say, boy, fire on top, goddamn, so leak in the faucet down below.
Got that wild
was there, let me ask y'all this, was there a significance in the story that he was telling about the motherfucking castle with the long hallway?
Had to be. I mean,
you tell us.
Nothing.
Book readers, was there significance?
That's what my notes say. Sam told Gilly about the castle with the long hallway. That's what my notes say. That's all that shit say.
I think that I don't know if there's any significance, but I think it kind of set up the conversation that we'll see later with Bran, Jojen, Mira, that whole crew. When they start talking about the wall.
Cool.
I liked having that kind of preface.
I like that.
So after we leave Gilly and the nigga wizard, we find ourselves on the road to River Run with the Riverlands, my bad.
No, the twins.
Yeah.
We're going to the twins.
Yeah. With the Hound and Arya.
Mm-hmm.
Who I got? Queen Mother. Mary J. Blige. Why don't you take us through that?
I'm not gonna cry, Mary.
No more drama, Mary.
That's for you. You already done 11 years. Okay.
I was a love angel.
This show is full of drama, so it don't even matter. So we have Arya and the Hound rolling
that
through,
shit glistening.
I just realized it was sparkly.
Every time I come around your city, bling bling.
If you rain, worry about it, bang bang.
Y'all can make fun of my fashion sense all you want to. I know how to dress for Westeros.
Big wheels keep on turning.
Listen, before you start.
No, that was PK with that I turn a half.
Okay.
No. I'm saying before you start going into this, just do me one favor. Stop moving your head.
What?
You about to give me epilepsy.
Epilepsy.
He's over there about to have a seizure.
He caught a disco ball.
All right, Studio 54, let us have it.
Oh God.
Oh, nigga. Oh. So they come upon this merchant who has the salt port for the wedding celebration. And they're getting off the horse and the Hound is like, shut up, I'm your daddy now. You do what I say and you don't talk. So the man's trying to change the wheel on his wagon. And so the Hound lifts it up like it ain't nothing, because to him it ain't nothing. And the man is just, going on, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to the twins, to the wedding festival and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, the Hound knocks him out. And he's like, he just needs to shut up. Don't nobody want to know all your business like that. I'm hungry. And he's about to eat some of the food. And he was about to kill him. And Arya's like, no, you can't kill him. And he's like, you know what? You're just too nice. And one day that's going to get you killed. And so when the man starts waking up, she picks up a log or something that's right there and knocks him in the head and knocks him out again. And then they take the wagon and they're gone. So it's a very short scene, but a lot of interaction, or some very nice interaction between the Hound and Arya as they are getting to know each other, and the comedy ensues.
Thanks. Yeah.
Nice.
Like when Arya, I have a question for the group. When Arya was referring to when she told the Hound that he wasn't a real killer, that she knows real killers, who was she referring to?
Y'all know who the fuck. Y'all know who the fuck she was referring to. God damn it,
TJ. Who was she referring to?
Who was she referring to, bro?
Motherfucking Joaquin Hager. God damn it, y'all know who the fuck. Joaquin Hager. God damn it, y'all know who the fuck.
God damn it, from goddamn it, Mississippi.
Y'all know who the fuck she was talking about. Everybody knew. We talking about Joaquin Hager. God damn it. Coldest motherfucker. This side of Valor Margulis. Goddamn.
Oh, I cannot.
Oh shit!
I needed this laugh, Jesus.
I tell you though, it was an interesting dynamic that took place between Arya and the Hound, and you could kind of see a mutual respect kind of building between them, even though it was seemingly like a love-hate type of situation. Because when the Hound saw her hit the dude over the head after telling her she was too nice, it seemed like he had a little bit more respect. Like, this motherfucker crazy too, you know, a little bit. But she hit the guy over the head to save him from the Hound, and his killer mentality. The fact that he didn't kill him because of her pleas seemed to be like it indicated that he does respect her enough to be willing to listen to her a little bit. So.
Yeah.
By the way, the fucking hog nigga, how you gonna let a 6'6" motherfucker with armor run up on you, nigga, like that? Bro, you got to get the Westerosi blicky or some shit. I don't give a fuck. Like, something got to shake, nigga. You can't let that motherfucker walk up on you.
He just thought that
stranger
motherfucker to help him change his
No, he probably looked like a gift from God. He had a wagon to lift, nigga. You see somebody that can lift a wagon, walk up, you gonna let him walk up.
Nigga, fuck that.
I said that nigga.
So what you saying is his undercarriage was moist?
His undercarriage was damaged.
Oh,
you gotta get the fuck up out of there. Something. Fuck them hogs. Shit.
Episode is brought to you by the honey pot.
No, that's right.
And then with the
speaking of which, niggas, we got a deadline.
Not that you know the name.
Right.
Ain't that it?
Yes, you are absolutely right.
Bathroom.
Sometimes you have to clean things up when you're done. So
Nigga just did a commercial.
That should be their new byline. Sometimes you gotta clean things up when you're done.
When your undercarriage is moist, bling bling every time I come around your city.
Sometimes you have to undampen the undercarriage.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize for sending this one off.
CJ, I thought you were a lawyer, not an MD.
So
you had to be from out of town.
We leave the farmer in his wet box. And
oh my god,
we find ourselves with Hodor Dash still toting Bran and the rest of the gang somewhere in the north. What was that? Was that the gift?
They had the gift.
Yeah.
So going to Crown Town.
we see them at the gift. And it's actually that same rundown windmill that Ygritte thought was a goddamn castle.
Yeah.
So let's see who ain't caught. Celeste, little Cersei.
Hey,
won't you take us through this? Start us off.
Okay, so Bran and crew took shelter at the Gift. They were in the tower, and they started speaking about why they need to go past the wall. If I'm not jumping, I'm sorry, because I know split up. No, that doesn't happen yet. They're just there and they're sheltering to make sure that they get out of the storm. One thing that didn't happen is before they even knew that a storm was going to happen, Jojen said there's going to be a storm. And I think it was Asha said, well, how do you know that? And as soon as she said it, it started thundering. So Jojen is somebody who's definitely a character who has a lot of knowledge and information that we will see actually come in handy here in the next couple of episodes.
Tyrus, you on mute.
So like we still in the same vicinity pretty much.
Mhm.
Well, we have Jon and the wildlings. They come to the small farm and they count this nigga horses and shit. And you know, they like, why this nigga got 8 horses? And Jon says that he's a breeder, you know, for the watch. And what's the nickname? Oral? Or like, fuck it, let's kill him.
Yeah.
Leslie,
what up?
Take us through that, dog.
What's that? When they fucking scared the goddamn the breeder nigga?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they scared of breeder nigga.
Nigga, we know that part.
The end.
That's how my notes look right there, dog. That's how my notes be looking.
It's scared the breeder nigga, and the nigga fucking runs off. Why is the camera still on me?
That's what I'm about to say. That's how my notes look too, dog. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
My notes say Bran and Hodor and them.
Tyrus, I got it. So with the breeder, Jon was actively trying to get them not to kill the breeder. They were like, okay, yes, he supplied horses for the Night's Watch. For the Night's Watch. You
exactly. You don't know either, Cersei.
If you kill him, they're really gonna
took off. That's how.
If you kill him, they're really gonna come for you. And they were like, well, we don't care. We want them to come out because they're easier to kill when they're out.
Yeah, that's fact. And so they tried to make Jon Snow kill the motherfucker. Like, you know, the hating ass nigga was like, hey, no, let that nigga Jon do it. And you know, and Igor like, do it, nigga.
Wait, we ain't there yet, CJ.
Oh damn! See, I knew I fucked up my notes. See, my shit say
I understand why
these scenes go back and forth in this moment.
They were chopping
when they were trying to attack the breeder's hut, and Jon was discouraging them from killing him.
And he hit his sword.
And then they were gonna sneak up to the actual shack. Jon made sure and clicked his sword on a rock, which disturbed the horses and made them kind of go up. And then the man came out and saw all the people coming across the field, and that's when he jumped on the horse, and that's how he got away.
The breeder nigga.
And then the wildlings got on the other horse.
Breeder nigga got away.
And chased him.
So exactly what Leslie said.
They scared the breeder nigga.
So after the breeder nigga got away.
So yeah, so now we can end with
Hey man, the Hound was fucking them pig feet up.
Bro,
oh my God.
Hey nigga, the Hound was hey, so in this moment, look, I'm gonna just jump right to it because you got the fucking scene up here. So Arya can see the twins, you know, at this point. So she's close. She knows that her mother and brother are like within reach. So, you know, the Hound was kind of pulling her card on that shit. Like, oh, you know, you can taste it, you can feel it, you're close, but you're scared. And she was like, "Ah, nigga, but you a scared ass little hoe ass nigga too, because I seen your bitch ass get scared of that goddamn sword when Barry Dondarrion lit that bitch on fire. You was like a little schoolgirl, nigga, and I beat your motherfucking ass, nigga." And then Hound in between fucking these pig feet up was like, "Yeah, nigga, you talking that shit, but hey, you wasn't talking that shit when they killed your bitch ass daddy." And she turned around.
That was some fun shit.
Hey, but then she turned around and was looking at that nigga in his grill like, "I'm gonna kill your bitch ass." That's when shit got real. That's when shit got real.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Then she said she can stab that nigga in the eye.
Yeah, like when she said that shit about that nigga daddy, she turned around like, "I'm gonna kill your bitch ass."
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
She told him that she was gonna put a knife through his eye to come out the back of his skull.
Back of your motherfucking skull, nigga. I'm gonna kill your ass.
I know the Hound was like, I kind of believe
it. As fuck. Yeah, it looked like he believed her. Like, damn.
He did. Hound like, man, I'm gonna keep these goddamn people. Goddamn.
Disturbingly accurate. Like, well, that nigga, you know, he kind of asked for it. You know, he was fucking with her about, she ain't seen her parents in however long this odyssey has been going on now. She ain't seen the one parent she still has alive, and like she's this close to him. Like, of course she's anxious.
Yeah, she's this close to him, but
you know,
and it's funny too because she's looking in the distance and it's clear skies, but then you hear the thunder in the background.
Yeah,
like the storm is coming.
That's a good point.
And yeah, facts. And like at this time, you know, if it's your first time watching, like you want her to get to her family. Like you're hoping for her to get to her family.
Feeling that shit with her. You literally feel that with her.
Yeah.
Like you're anxious for her to get there. But
yeah, I think it's like maybe for a little bit she was like, I think she might have felt some type of way. Like, I've been out here on the loose by myself. Y'all here finna have a wedding. Like, I would have felt some type of way about that. Like, I would have been prepared to cut somebody out as soon as I
well, they don't know she's alive at this point.
They don't know who the fuck's already alive
at this point. They don't. They've assumed she's been dead.
All the more reason. Like, y'all don't know if I'm dead or alive. Y'all
but you know what? But you know what though, JC though. But to your point, that's why I think that Arya ain't really that close to the motherfuckers like that. Like she's almost like her fucking. She's almost like her direwolf. Like she's almost like Nymeria in a certain respect. Is that she's kind of the lone wolf out of the Stark crew. So, like, you know, even though that she was, you know, like, even though all that shit was about to happen and she was about to get closer to her family. I always felt like that she kind of moved on fairly quickly from the fucking Red Wedding. I mean, that's later in episodes, but when her and the Hound were traveling through the fucking, just like through the Westeros lands, like she was kind of cool with it. You know what I'm saying? She was.
Oh no, though, Leslie. I think that shit was out.
I
think that shit was out of necessity though, and the shit that she had already been through. It's like you become numb to that shit. You watch your dad die. She didn't necessarily, like, she was there when they were killed, but she didn't have to watch Robb and Catelyn get massacred the way she had to watch Ned get beheaded. So with that, she was captive. She saw a couple of her friends get killed. Like, she'd have seen a lot of shit at this point. I just think she was
but yeah, like, and that's true. But also think a part of it is that she just wasn't as close to them. I think she was closest to Jon. And
she was always closest to Jon.
And when she met Jon, it was like, yo, like my nigga. When she saw this motherfuckers, she's just like, it is what it is. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't about to throw a fucking party for these motherfuckers. Like, I mean, her and Sansa never really got along like that. Like, even the later episodes.
Yeah, it was like, you know, Robb was her big brother, Sansa was her big sister, but Jon was my nigga.
Jon and Arya and Ned and Arya were the closest. As far as, like, Ned was the one who was kind of saw Arya for who she was, while Catelyn, I think, was trying to make her out to be a lady.
Yeah, that shit was never gonna happen.
Nah.
So Leslie, you know, sticking with the other motherfuckers, we had one of the other motherfuckers. You know, they in the windmill, and like y'all said, the storm was coming. And actually, the storm had came and it's raging like crazy outside. And while that's going on, you also had the wildlings pull up, chasing, you know, the horse farmer who got away.
Yeah. So
take us through that, since it's more than just a horse nigga running away.
Yeah, it's more just a horse nigga running away. So this is the scene where like actually some shit commences, and they catch up with the horse nigga, and then they commence to, essentially kill the horse nigga before he gets to the the Night's Watch. And if you go back to can you go back to that image of Bran real quick?
Bluetooth Bran.
I know a nigga who getting good top when I fucking see it. All right.
Oh no!
I don't know where they fucking got that motivation from. But nigga, I just call it like I goddamn see it. That's when I saw that scene, I was like, God damn, fucking Brad must be getting some.
Man, when she keep going,
he ain't felt
it. Wow.
That nigga must have visited Mo's house.
Yo,
he ain't feel it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it, right? It's like right there.
He said he ain't feel it.
That's that good old when she keep going.
Yeah. That's that good. I mean, eyes rolled back.
Episode sponsored by Honey Pot. Like, listen.
The nigga was breathing heavy and shit. Eyes rolled back of his head. Nigga, I know good fucking top when I fucking. Nigga. All right, shit. Get to that shit. So the scene is it's a lot actually going on in this fucking scene. It's a lot. So they're about to kill him. They tell Jon the wildlings, aka the free folk, to kill the nigga who ran away, and Jon refuses to do it, which I had a problem with. I'm like, nigga, you killed Corn Halfhand as far as just for the greater good of the realm, but you can't kill this farmer to still keep up with your facade for the greater good of the realm.
Right.
Like this random motherfucker who's not even going to get away regardless. Somebody's going to kill him.
Corn Halfhand made him do that shit though. Corn Halfhand literally had to push him to that because Jon wouldn't have did that shit on his own anyway. I think the only reason he even put that sword through Corn is because Corn started that whole squabble. But I feel you on this shit because he should have murked this.
Okay, that's true.
He should have murked, but I feel you because he should have murked this farmer dude from jump just to keep your cover going.
Exactly, just to keep your cover going. Yeah, because at this point you're almost to the point where like you're leading them to where you need them to be, so where the fucking to where the motherfuckers can take over. But so all right, so after this shit happens, the fucking battle commences between fucking basically Ygritte tries to stand up for Jon. Our boy, what's the redhead nigga name? Tormund, he's like, yo, like
Tormund.
Bitch, Tormund. Yeah, Tormund. I know that nigga wasn't no goddamn Tormund.
That nigga name is Tormund.
Tremaine. That goddamn Tremaine.
That nigga name is Tormund, nigga.
So Tormund
Giants Bank.
And so Tormund grabs fucking Flat Booty by the fucking and tells her, he can grab her, it ain't too much to, you put that pretty easy. And tells her, he ain't worth it, he ain't one of us, blah, 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 blah. Ygritte ain't trying to hear that shit. Anyway, meanwhile, Jon is fighting Hawkeye bitch ass nigga, and he kills Hawkeye bitch ass nigga. But before Hawkeye bitch ass nigga dies, Hawkeye bitch ass nigga goes into wargs into the hog, and then he gets in one little last lick on Jon's fucking face. So just to be like, yeah, nigga, like I scratched your fucking face. Ygritte ain't gonna want you no more.
So you ain't so pretty now. I'm dying, but here, take these licks.
Right. Hey, while all this going on, shit.
Hold on. But while the whole time the fucking Bran wargs into fucking the wolves, and the wolves come in, and nobody says shit about the fucking wolves just eating niggas up.
Yes, exactly.
It literally goes by the fucking wayside. And if y'all niggas didn't notice the fucking CGI, and I'm gonna let Carlton kind of handle this one, but the CGI wasn't quite CGI.
It wasn't quite there, my nigga. Them wolves look like they was in a different Westeros, goddammit.
The curl wasn't quite fucking
And there's Luther's shot.
He knew it was coming.
Had to get one on episode 9 on Luther. But I like the way though, for real. I like how they spliced all
Hey
this
man,
shit together,
I'm
bro.
telling you here now, leave Luther alone.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
Not here now. God damn. Don't start this.
Never too much. Never too much.
Go.
Too
Children, come on.
It's not
Like,
and I like how they splice these scenes together though. Like they the point of view that these scenes were told in the book came from Jon's point of view, and I think from Bran in the book. But they were going back and forth in the chapters between the scenes, and like that's the same way they put it together in this episode. So like you see the point of view from Bran up and Jojen and Mira and Osha up in the tower looking down, and then you see the point of view from Jon, you know, down on the ground with the wildlings killing the man. But they put that shit together just the same way they did in the book. So that shit, that I think that's why we keep seeing.
I had to watch that a couple times because I was like,
have
what
a
the
question.
hell did I just watch? Like I had to watch it a couple times the first time.
And Bran walked into the
Who
walls and
was
shit.
looking at who and who.
Yo, it was a lot going. I mean, it was a smorgasbord of shit happening.
I think that shit was dope though, because that was to show those different point of views that they did that shit from the book.
Yep.
And that shit, I like how they did that.
You got the storm raging, you got shit going on outside, and Hodor in there screaming his ass off. And Archer's like, oh, hold on, big fella, we need you to chill.
Fucking Bran said, Hodor, please stop hoarding. Hodor.
But the significance of that shit is that's the first time that we see Bran voluntarily war. Well, that shit was even kind of involuntary because he did it out of instinct. But also, it's still the first time that we see him warg into somebody while he's awake.
Warg into a person, right?
While he was sleeping in dreams. So Jojen seeing him warg into Hodor to calm him down. That's what triggers Jojen to say, hey, we need you to walk into the motherfucking wolves just in case Jon don't kill these niggas. They gonna come up here because they done heard this nigga Hodor in this bitch. So
wait, did they know that was Jon down there?
Not yet.
No.
That's what I was.
Bran saw, once Bran walked into Summer, he saw it was Jon through the wolf's eyes.
Because he
did see. Okay, that's what I was asking. Okay.
Yeah, he saw through the wolf's eyes that it was Jon.
And then we pretty much get just a clue into how powerful Bran is as a warrior, right? Because Jojen's like, nobody does that shit.
Yeah.
Like nigga, you 1-1. We need to get you beyond the wall.
Facts.
And then after the battle, I don't know, am I skipping? But after the battle, that's when everybody pretty much says they go their separate ways. And they really never see each other again. It's kind of fucking sad. Yeah. This is actually a sad moment when they go their separate ways because knowing what we know now, they don't see each other again.
But also, did you hear where Osha said she was taking him? She was taking him right to the Umbers.
To the Umbers.
So
I'm like a fucking Umber to you.
Yeah, so you know how that goes.
You know what that shit might be about.
She tried to shade Rickon and was like, they can teach you how to use a sword. He was like, I know how to use one.
Yeah, Rickon.
We got some tears out of Rickon. That's goddamn that nigga earned his
most
check.
action that nigga did for the whole series.
He had a line.
This is when he steps into the Judy Winslow closet and disappears for 4, 5, 10 seasons. I don't know how many.
So, hey, did y'all see how fucking livid Ygritte was when Jon ass rolled off on that horse? Ygritte,
I know her undercarriage was dehydrated because she was like,
"That's what I was saying."
Scorching hot. That shit got singed.
Hey, Jon said crows before hoes, bro.
Crows before hoes.
Red, the wild and wild.
Bastard sons of Castle.
And told that old ass nigga, you was right the whole time, bitch ass nigga.
I am glad he got that shot in with Oreo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
him.
Everybody need a good shot of Oreo. You right. So
that's something, man.
That scene, and we find ourselves with the three amigos. They done stuck in and shit, and who we ain't heard from? Goddamn, birthday girl. Oh yeah,
Yes,
she
sir.
hot.
She said, "What the fuck you want?"
Boy, what the?
That damn verse.
Not verse.
So they get down to the wall, and Dario gets in. He takes care of the lightweight at the gate. Jorah.
Not Dario now.
Yeah,
Right.
Dario. He takes care of the lightweight. Jorah and Grey Worm come in. So then they get swarmed again by some more guards. They fight all of them off. They fire off another round of guards comes down. They fire off on them too. And that's really what we see during this section.
Man, them three niggas was getting busy.
They fought about 7,000 niggas.
Yeah.
Man, them niggas caught bodies. That shit was masterful.
I like this scene because they really showed Jorah and how well he can fight.
I think
Grey Worm was getting it.
Yeah, I think it was a good display of like all of them.
Yeah,
it
like
was.
They were a cold unit. Like it was cold, all three of them, and two of them niggas was fighting for love.
Up. Hey, I'm gonna send this nigga over there to you, and you cut his motherfucking guts open, nigga.
One of them niggas was fighting for love. One of them niggas was fighting for Targaryen, and the other one just fighting because he liked to fight.
What else?
You said that Grey Worm.
I mean, he couldn't fight for nothing else, so that nigga just fight.
What's the Grey Worm fighting for, CJ?
You know,
he was fighting for honor.
He's fighting for the fucking grind.
They kicked.
So what you saying is Grey Worm's undercarriage wasn't wet.
It was
not that it would be.
Well, hey, Grey Worm undercarriage been removed.
It doesn't have to get wet.
That nigga got a convertible.
That nigga undercarriage don't exist.
Pull up with the ceiling missing.
Oh Lord.
This episode is brought to you by penis jokes.
Nigga left his undercarriage and flavors baked.
Dario talking shit ass said, "I'm the best whistler in the land." Like, nigga, what?
Man, like, damn, like, nigga, that's a thing?
Right. Yeah.
How the fuck do you know
It's
this?
not important.
You know all the tricks to get the leg.
It was important.
But that said,
it takes some skill to know how to whistle.
That said,
it does.
Season 3 Dario over that other nigga.
Nah.
Facts.
No. Oh yeah.
Facts.
Oh no.
Right.
Season 3 Dario.
This episode finna get.
Yeah,
season
3
Dario over that other nigga.
You're saying this Dario over the other one? Absolutely.
Yeah, season 3 Dario.
No.
Dario.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Y'all like new Dario?
Dario 2.
No.
Dario 2.
Yeah, wow. Ew.
New Dario is so fucking strange.
Y'all niggas like great value Dario?
No, the first one was great value Dario.
No.
Niggas like great
had
value
like R&B
Dario.
singers.
The first one is that Kirkland signature Dario. He's like,
let me know.
Kirkland signature Dario.
God damn. Beyond. Jeez.
Whoa.
Can we do a poll? Is it possible to do a poll on? It's Beyond Meat version. Golly. That is a good name for him. Beyond Meat. That's a good name, dog.
I was not disrespect Grey Worm by calling him Beyond Meat. That's just funny.
That's his new fucking name.
That's Beyond Meat is a good name, dog.
That's a good.
Whoever said it, send him hey, that's a good ass name.
that was Eddie Mama. Yeah,
They just called Grey Worm Beyond Meat, dog.
Grey Worm undercarriage just pussy.
Speaking of
what is wrong with you niggas?
Yo, somebody say Candace a goddamn fucking.
Somebody say
Grey Gussy. She called this nigga the Great Gussy. God damn.
Oh my god.
That nigga had to leave. That nigga had to walk away.
Oh, thugging with my rounds.
No.
And we're breathing.
I'm not with this
That's
Grey
right.
Worm.
Here we go.
Down.
Here we go.
Simmer down.
Here we go. Let's come on. All right. Here we go, y'all.
And we're back.
TK.
Listen,
Hey,
Hey, them niggas was lit outside the wedding.
Great pussy.
So we get to the wedding, and you know it looked like a family reunion at West Virginia. They was all shirtless and wrestling and shit. But inside, Walder brings his daughter in, and they finally get to see her. And you see the look on Edmure's face.
Thank
like
God.
That nigga had a sigh of relief. Like I ain't never seen a nigga eyes say "Thank you, Jesus" that much.
That's exactly what he said.
But the thing about this scene is that there were very few words except for the Septon who was doing the ceremony. Everybody's giving each other all these looks back and forth, and like it's Walder Frey is looking at Rob like, you missed out, brother.
That's exactly how he looked at that nigga.
Yours. She could have been yours.
And my thing is, just because you gave this one a damn bath, because you ain't bathed none of the other ones that was up there before. Okay, so
you can't bathe away ugly.
Clean, yeah.
God damn.
You can't bathe away ugly.
You can't bathe away
ugly forever.
But you'd be ugly too if your hair was uncombed and your clothes stank like that. And
sometimes you just ugly because you ugly though.
Sometimes you're ugly because your daddy is walking
genetics just
like
didn't
him.
Facts.
Yeah.
Sometimes genetics just didn't quite genetic.
But also, he damn sure did look at Rob like, see, nigga, I had a bad for you.
He did.
But you know what though, Carlton?
That's the big joker.
You know, and we kind of talked about that earlier. Was I don't think he would have gave him that one.
No.
Oh yeah.
You
don't think he would have gave Rob that one? Yeah, no. That was the
look
plan.
who he gave to Rose.
He would have given him
Rob no bullshit.
I think he would have let Rob.
He would have gave Rob exactly her.
Yeah, he was saving her for the prominent marriage because that would have been the best.
This is like the queen.
Yeah,
the queen.
Right.
You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, he would like Rob up.
That's his Marjorie. That's his Marjorie.
Yes.
But was Rob the best that he could do? Could he have possibly gone to a Lannister or a Baratheon? Would he have?
Wouldn't have no friend.
He wasn't gonna do no better than King in the North. At that point in time, Rob was already rising, so like he wouldn't have did no better than the station Rob had already held.
And plus the Tyrells,
especially if you siding with that nigga, if you're siding with him,
right?
You know that's your king. That's the highest fucking rank you can get.
Wasn't nobody trying to hear shit while Frey was talking about? First of all,
plus the Tyrells were significantly more important to the Lannisters.
Yeah,
being afraid.
Like, it was.
They just so happened to be in the position to where
it was a marriage of convenience.
Walder Frey owns a bridge.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
That nigga needed to get across the bridge.
He don't bring nothing else.
And he had enough sons to build it. So there you go.
That was the number one thing as far as that was concerned.
Real quick about the wedding. Did y'all see the way the ugly Frey girls were looking at Blackfish?
Oh, you know they mad as hell.
And he turned his head like, nah.
Blackfish, who, by the way, was not at the fucking wedding in the books.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
In the book, Blackfish started throwing up in his mouth.
That nigga, they asked that nigga Blackfish, do he want some of this? I'm good.
Yeah. He's like, and so Blackfish is actually doing the vengeance of the Red Wedding, but he wasn't even in the fucking at the wedding to.
It's a lot of little subtle differences from book to show. Yeah, it's a couple of them bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Some major, some not so major.
Yep.
So as that's taking place, yeah.
So we'll get to that real quick in a little bit. So we go back to the tower, and this is where one of y'all referenced it earlier.
Yeah, I talked about the scene already.
That them niggas finna split up and we'll never see. We'll never. Goddamn, you acting like Rob. You impatient today.
I talked about the scene already, nigga.
You was out of order, nigga.
Get to the good stuff. It's gonna get good.
Fucking Rickon. Nigga don't know what to know. Yeah, we talking about this. We ain't talking about the scene.
No, we ain't talking about the beginning.
Oh, this one right here hurt.
Oh yeah, this is when George comes back.
This that pain right here, nigga. Ooh.
Yes, that's that hurt. That's that hurt.
That's that pain, nigga.
What Dario? And George was like, "Oh hell!" Like
the way he ran back to tell her that they won, though.
Right. Like he ran back to tell her, baby, we just beat 7,000 niggas for you. Where Dario?
Where Dario?
Danny ain't shit for that, by the way. All right, like for her to ask that fucking question, George sitting over there, like, bitch, I just got done.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Like, look at me, goddamn.
And make no fucking mistake, this nigga has noticed her eye fucking Dario the whole time.
The whole fucking time.
Yeah, she been eye fucking this nigga for 2 episodes.
And that's why his feelings hurt, because it's going past eye fucking after this. Shit.
I mean,
God,
Dario is essentially a younger version of fucking George.
Hey, Addie Mama said, Dora,
can you?
Jordan got a Summer Walker song playing in his head.
Right.
That's my. Hey, that's a good ass seat, by the way. That's my shit for. That's my shit for the summer. That's my shit for the summer.
Ready to get rid of his undercarriage altogether. Like, I'm not gonna be needing that.
She kicked
He's about to voluntarily cut it off.
She grabbed and twisted his undercarriage for real. Like that shit hurt, dog. Like, can you imagine fighting 7,000 niggas for a woman? Thinking you finally gonna win her face.
And then
she asked him, she asked about the new nigga with the big teeth.
I mean,
girl, if you don't get the fuck out my face right now, while I'm over here reading for your motherfucking ass.
You really upset.
Hey, like CJ, what the fuck Chris Rock say about OJ? I wouldn't have killed her, but I understand.
But I understand. God damn.
I understand.
Like, what?
God damn.
I would have knocked everything over in that motherfucker, boy. Dragon eggs and all, goddamn it.
Dragon eggs and all. He was hurt. He was hurt.
George said, "I'm not gonna cry." Shit.
That nigga cried in the car.
Hold up.
I would have been crying.
What George said? What George said?
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I'm not gonna shed no tears. Store was at the job, but no one else was there.
On your feet.
God damn.
Yeah, shit. Y'all better saying that shit today. Oh shit. Here we go.
Here we go.
Again, words taken right from the book.
Like fucking CJ reminds me of the nigga in the horror movie, like at the movies. Oh shit, here we go.
Here we go. Run, nigga.
This is the best part right here, y'all.
Hold on.
First,
George said I was your secretary and your secretary.
Say something.
Go ahead, Queen Mother.
All right. So what I want you all to think about as we go into this scene, think about how the honored guests were sitting at the 2 front tables. So they were intermingled with Walder Frey's children. So Talisa was sitting beside one of his sons, and Rob was sitting on the end of the table. And then Roose Bolton was sitting at the end of the other table. And then it was Cat, and then it was Uncle Catfish. And then another one of Walder Frey's sons. So they are quite literally surrounded. So then behind them is Stark men, and then behind that table is Walder Frey's children again. So everybody's locked in, but they don't think about being locked in. So even
with the Sweeten plan.
Okay, all the people broke it all the way down.
Queen Mother was the wedding coordinator for the Red Wedding. Well, you know, everybody's got to have a job.
Oh, that means she set my nigga up.
I set it up.
I mean, it was.
So who want to pick up from that and keep us going with?
Well, again, that's one of the famous lines from the book. That shit was again taken directly. Every sword needs a sheath. Every wedding needs a bedding. Even Rob's reply, that shit was directly from the book. So they start off with the bedding, but we already know what that's about. That's literally just to get everybody out of the room. So they take Roslin out, they're stripping them off. They take Edmure out. He talking his shit. He lit.
Careful now.
Man, he thinking this shit, all about him. So he with all the bullshit. So they get everybody out. But it's around this time that Catelyn is starting to notice that some things are off. Roose Bolton doesn't take a drink. So she, you can kind of see Catelyn starting to look around and look at him like, what the fuck you got going on? We at a wedding. Why you ain't drinking? What's really good? And then she looked down at the sleeve and she notices the chainmail, but even before that's happening, the music switches.
Right.
So the music changes to the Reigns of Castamere. So Roose is already looking at Catelyn at this point, like, yeah,
did
bitch,
you
already
see
know.
how he told her, he looked at his arm like, look, bitch.
Like, you are in facts. And, she pulled the sleeve. He's got the chainmail on. She slapped the shit out of him. As this is going on, Walter Frey has already stood up to give this fake ass toast that he gave to King Rob, and basically said that he owed him a wedding gift or a gift for the wife. Same time, Catelyn is slapping Roose Bolton. He runs off, and one of the Frey sons puts the knife into Talisa's belly to get this massacre started.
I mean,
that was the most hurtful part of all of this shit, obviously.
Man.
And it was intense. That shit hurt. I almost watching this shit. This is my first time watching this scene after being a father. That shit hurt. I ain't gonna lie, that shit hurt me.
Man.
I had to hold back some emotions watching that shit.
Small thing for me. When I originally watched this scene, when I was originally watching Game of Thrones, it's almost like, where were you when you watched the Red Wedding for the first time, right?
Facts.
Kennedy assassination, some shit. Jacinta was pregnant with Harper when I was fucking watching this shit. Like, so she was like pregnant too. So when it was so jarring to me when I watched it, I turned it off. I was just like, fuck this shit. Man. Nigga, I just started fucking and I went like right into like some fucking kind of, it was a little bit of a deep safe space for me for like 2 minutes. Because it was just so jarring to see that woman get stabbed in the belly right after they had just talked about naming the child after
nigga. You came to that and that was intentional. That was intentional from the showrunners. Because of the event and how it went down. And again, we're gonna get into that in a minute, but it was definitely intentional. That conversation that Talisa and Rob had right before this happened about if the child was a boy, they wanted to name it Eddard. That shit was completely fucking intentional.
Yeah. And you know what though? And one of the things that Kat, like even though Kat, she definitely had a side eye when Roose refused to drink, but I thought she had a little bit of a side eye even before that. When
she did,
she definitely did. She definitely did.
Like when Roose was talking about his wife that he was marrying the fat Frey.
Yeah.
And how much money she looked at him sideways when he talked about how much money Walter gave him.
Yes.
Right.
That's when the wheels first started turning, but she's a Stark, so it took a minute. So.
A little shot, but I mean, like, but you know what though, it did take a minute, but like, and we're gonna get to it, but like, that's one of the things that I actually got a little bit more of appreciation for Kat now that I reread the book or reread.
Exactly.
That's what I was about to say. Who's noticing this shit?
Yeah.
I mean, well, like, even though it's her POV, but I feel like that she's the only one who really noticed shit starting to pop off.
How Rob ain't noticed the fucking Rise of Castamere playing? How he didn't hear that shit playing?
Well,
right, he didn't raise the Castamere. Come on,
14, 13 in the book, whatever the fuck his age is. 15, what? He's fucking young as shit. Okay. But you're right, though. I mean, Reigns of Castamere, nigga, that's fucking My Heart Will Go On and fucking like
right.
Heard that shit
cruise ship. That's like playing My Heart Will Go On when you on a cruise.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What? Top of the Westeros charts. Like that's got to be like the most famous song they know. You hear that? Come on.
Yeah.
And it's famous for all the wrong reasons. So if you hear that song, it's supposed to be something terrible.
Yeah.
So we saw this line before, heard this line before. The Lannisters in their regards was what was it, 2 episodes ago when Jamie
said it to him before he was fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some wild shit, man.
And so the Lannister sends their regards is very fucking like, but this is a show change too, which is actually pretty important, right? It's kind of because in the book, Rue says Jaime Lannister sends his regards, which is slightly different. But the aftermath of this, people think that Jaime is the one who actually planned the Red Wedding, which is furthest from the fucking truth. I mean, this is all Ty was fucking doing. So, shit like that, like little details like that, like they changed, I guess, for the.
Well, even the Catelyn slapping Roose, it wasn't Roose that she slapped in the book. It was a different character that he discovered.
Exactly. It was one of the Frey. It was one of the Frey sons or some shit.
Tyra's like, hold on for that part.
So, you niggas, man.
Hold on. Before you do that, TK, I wanted to ask a question about I guess the Red Wedding and like seeing it over again. Like, I obviously doesn't have the same shock value to you as it does the first time around. But do you can you remember what you felt like? I mean, I know what Leslie said about seeing the wife stabbed in the stomach, but can you remember what you felt when you witnessed basically the characters that I thought were the main characters of the show up until that point, like all just taken out within minutes or moments?
Fucking minus the shock value part of it, it feels exactly the same watching that shit as it did 10 years ago watching that shit for the first time. Like that shit hurt like I don't even know it's about to happen. It's just like it destroys hope for an entire family on this show at this point in time. Like where you are in season 3, it destroys everything for the Starks. It's like at that point you feel like there's no more, like what else can the fucking Starks do? It's over with.
Yeah. I know when I first watched it,
for the whole show for me, for being somebody who never read the books. Like when I saw this, I didn't read any books or anything, and so once you see them get slaughtered like this, then you thinking, okay, well, how the hell we still got a show after this? Like, it almost felt like they was killing the show. Like you, without knowing, what happens next, you really can't perceive what happens next after this.
Yeah. See, when I watched it, I immediately grabbed my stomach like I was pregnant, and I wasn't. But it was just like that, like hurt. That hurt, like my uterus. But I didn't think the show was over, but I thought that the Starks would die in succession. I thought that Arya would be gone. I thought that Sansa would be next. I didn't think that Bran would survive. I thought they were just going to wipe out everybody.
I also question the legality of it.
When I first saw it,
not the legality.
The legality of it.
That Plan B knife.
It was definitely one of the most shocking scenes I had ever seen on TV. It
was brutal, especially it was brutal.
It took the breath out of my body. I just sat there. I just sat there and was like, whoa. And for I don't know how long, and then I had to go take a nerve pill for real.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
They did all that shit and then
they
did all of that shit and then sent the screen to black in silence on our app. So like my first time watching it, nigga, I was waiting on them niggas to come back from the credits like a Marvel, like an MCU film. Like, nigga, it's some more after this. Like, it's
somebody got to wake up from a dream or something.
Man, when I watched every season, through before I read or listened to any of the audio books. So I, watching them through the first time, I'm just like everybody else. Like, I know not what's fucking coming until it's fucking happening. So that shit happens and screen cut to black, and I'm like. And then we got to wait a whole nother week to see the aftermath. It's just that shit was crazy, dog.
Yeah, this was after I watched that episode. I was like, Game of Thrones is my new favorite all-time show. Like, this is this is what reality is. Like this is what like reality looks like in the real world, where a lot of the times the good guys don't come out on top, and when people live this naive, notion of what the world should be compared to what the world is, and then that's how you get fucked up when your guard is down. I mean, just the whole thing about them, because this show made such a good job of making everybody feel at peace. Like everything was okay. There was a little bit of tension, but everything was good. We were going to move on, and it was going to be, eventually this final battle of the Starks versus the Lannisters at fucking Castle Rock or whatever. And like them motherfuckers just ended that shit.
Yeah.
But like all the breadcrumbs were there, right? And so when you just sit back and think about it for a second, even before you rewatch it, you think to yourself, "Oh shit, I missed that." You're right. God damn, this is the third.
I mean, you can just about figure out when Tywin is writing the letter to order this shit to happen when you rewatch it.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. By the time then you have a whole new appreciation for Tywin, because then you're just thinking to yourself, he's winning this battle from fucking just sending emails, nigga.
With the pen. With the nigga per my last raven, nigga.
Yeah.
One thing that really hurt that wasn't in the wedding was when Arya saw them kill Grey Wind. And I don't even like animals.
Like, because Arya was right there, because that's what we've been waiting for. Like, that's the part that fucked me up. She was that close,
right outside,
and so she was still far away from it. Even and like so that part is the part like all of it fucked me up, because I like really like those were my favorite characters up until that point. Like Rob was probably even my favorite character, even more than Jon Snow and Arya, who ultimately were my favorite characters in the show. But it fucked me up from the standpoint of it made me feel something that I had not felt in a TV show in a long time. And when it did that, it instantly, like Leslie said, it instantly became something that I didn't want to watch anymore, because they fucked it up with the people that I like, but I couldn't turn away from it because the shit was too good to not know what's going to happen next. If that was like, if you're gonna do that, like you gotta, gotta fix it. And at that point, it was instantly a classic for me from that point forward. So
it was at this point the only reason I ever started watching Game of Thrones, because a friend of mine had been watching it, right? And when he got to this episode, he lost his shit, and he didn't call me and ask me had I been watching. I'm like, no. So he was like, okay, well, go watch it, all of it, till you get to the red wedding, then call me back. And I'm like, what the hell is a red wedding? So that's the only reason I started watching this show, was to get to the part of the red wedding where that just, of course, turned my brain inside out. But I mean, it was that impactful.
Black Twitter was in shambles that night.
Let me ask y'all this: which one? What was more of a shock, Ned or the red wedding?
Ooh, the red wedding.
Red wedding.
So at this, when you get into Game of Thrones and everything, and after you survive this, then you know that every episode 9 is gonna be something crazy. And you need, anytime somebody says they're gonna get married, you better be prepared. So I'd get my nerve pill, I'd get my drink, I'd get my pillow, I'd get my blanket, I'd get a box of tissues.
There's been a pattern. There, up to this point, you're right, there has been a pattern. So season 1, episode 9 was a dramatic death. And then season 2, episode 9 was a great battle or epic battle. Season 3, episode 9, dramatic death. They're gonna follow that same pattern for season 4, episode 9. It's a epic battle.
Ultimate episodes are a big deal.
So, episode 9 and any wedding.
But when you're in it, like the first watch, I didn't catch the pattern. I wasn't watching. I wasn't current in my watching. I didn't start watching until season 4, so I was behind. But I didn't catch the pattern.
Season 3 was
by the way, and just a little shout out to Walter Frey, who was just kind of sitting there. It was almost like he had these mix of emotions of excitement, fucking like kind of
his
shock.
undercarriage got a little moist.
So 99.
Nigga was excited, but he was also like shocked, because he was like, God damn, if there's such thing as karma, I'm fucked.
Hell yeah.
Huh?
He was in that bitch shocked that he even
right.
I didn't think I could do all this shit.
Yeah, he did look like, damn,
I'm fucked. Like, for real.
Well,
Yeah.
She did.
what I spoke about earlier, the law of guest right. He broke the law of guest right.
Exactly.
He had guests beneath his roof that ate bread and salt and butter and shit. So he broke that law, and we all know how laws and oaths and shit like that go in Westeros. So that shit gonna come back.
What Caleb said about, he said when they killed Ned, I was so confused. It was like killing Will off the Fresh Prince, or so I thought.
Facts. That's what
that
it
goes
definitely
kind of
carried that
question.
shock value. It definitely carried heavy shock value because that was the protagonist.
What I'll say is that kind of for me, it was shocking when it happened, but the Red Wedding was more shocking because the Ned shit happened. You think ain't no way they're gonna let the Starks get fucked over even more than they got fucked over when Ned got fucked over.
You think they're gonna get their get back?
Right, like they done had it bad enough. Yeah, so you don't think like they fixing to get done this goddamn dirty, and they got did nasty. So
especially when they're the only family who was getting done dirty like that back to back to back.
Yes.
Everybody else,
exactly.
Yeah.
The Lannisters ain't had no leads put on them yet up until this point.
Right, but then when you see that wedding, you like, okay, in this show, it's really no limit to how bad they'll fuck somebody up. Like they will take it to the extreme. Like even with Reek, like they will take torturing somebody to the extreme in this show. A whole family torturing them to the extreme in this show. So there ain't no boundaries.
It's true.
Factual.
So, I say so.
What?
Wait, no, you TK.
TK, y'all mute. You're on mute.
You're on mute, bro.
Oh, what I was about to say was, y'all was talking about like episode 9 and like all these major events, and Leslie kind of foreshadowed it a little earlier. So what we want to start doing, for those of you who watch it, who hadn't read the books, who have read the books, we kind of want to highlight, especially like major episodes like this or major events, kind of highlight, like the differences between what we see on the show and what we read in the books. So we got probably two of the most knowledgeable people that I know on earth with these books with Leslie and Carlton. So what we want y'all to do is just, kind of go through real quick or whatever, what happens in the Red Wedding on TV versus in the books. By the book or not, with Leslie and Carlton.
Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book.
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
Read a motherfucking book, man. I don't jam into all that bitch. So I think what Leslie, the biggest difference, the most obvious difference is one, Talisa ain't even Talisa. In the book, it's Jane Westerling. So in the book, Rob's wife is her name is Jane of House Westerling. But the biggest difference is that he leaves her at River Run at the behest of Catelyn. Catelyn suggested to Rob to leave his wife at River Run because although Walder Frey would take it as a slight to bring her to Edmure's wedding, he would view it as outright disrespect, basically to just kind of shove Rob's new wife in Walder Frey's face. So she was left. She wasn't there. She wasn't in attendance. I think in the book she was already pregnant. I think she had already told Rob she was with child in the book.
Or she was pregnant, but there's no like real definitive. I don't know if we get a clear answer on whether or not she was actually pregnant. But and they hinted on that in the show. They were, because Catelyn was like, Talisa was like, yo, stop fucking doing the kissing shit in front of Walder. This disrespect.
Right.
Which is something that Rob just like, this is another one of his weaknesses that he just doesn't see, right? He's just like, he's just oblivious to like,
I'm the king in the north. I can do this shit. Like, nigga, this got you in here in the first place.
Facts.
Yeah.
One of the other things that one of the real differences, man, that I really I forgot about when I reread this shit was that Catelyn had peeped how fucking horrible the actual wedding was, as far as the food and the fucking band being played. Jump. Like she was commenting on like how like horrible the food was and how it tasted and how
niggas was serving jellied cow brains, niggas. But to that point, Rob, before they went in, because of how bad he had fucked up, had told Catelyn, if Walder Frey serves me stewed crow with maggots, I'll eat every bite and ask for seconds.
Yep.
So, in the book, Catelyn kept going back and referencing that. As she watched Rob eating all this terrible ass food, as like the band was playing like one song, but the singer was singing like a different song.
Singing another song.
Yeah, she was calling that shit out.
Which goes to show you that these niggas weren't actually fucking musicians.
Right.
They were assassins.
Right. And to speak to that, a couple of the Frey sons or grandsons were missing, and Catelyn had peep game on that. She was like, "Hey, yo, because one of the Frey sons or one of the grandsons was supposed to be squire for Rob, and he was notably missing. That was the one that was the most notable."
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because he was loyal to Rob. You see, that's the thing about like just the show doesn't really capture that well compared to the books, is that like not every Frey was just this horrible human being, right? There were some Freys who were actually
there was so fucking many of them niggas. Shit, some of them had to be good. So that nigga was missing. I think it was a couple of other ones missing, and Catelyn was asking about that. And it was around that same time when one of the Frey men, it was after the wedding, after the bedding, and one of the Frey men, I think, went and put the lock on the door, and Catelyn followed him. She followed him to the door, and I think she was asking him about one of the other Frey men, and that's when she noticed the chainmail, and she slapped him.
And she slapped the Frey guy.
Yeah, and it was right around that time that the Reigns of Castamere started playing. So that was accurate from the book.
But it's also funny from the book standpoint is that with Catelyn, from her POV, she thought that when motherfuckers were additional people started coming into the room.
Yeah,
she thought that from her POV, right? This is fucking crazy because George R.R. Martin. It's almost like motherfuckers like just so desperate to get to anything and to any kind of hope that they just see something, they're just automatically thinking to themselves, "Oh, thank God!" But it was Bolton niggas, and they were just coming in and reinforcements to kill more motherfuckers in that room, and it's just like, man, that whole entire slaughter in the book was much more detailed as far as just like the amount of bannermen being killed, like Rob's bodyguards were fucking just getting slaughtered. It was a lot more people that we are supposed to care about. We see
and they go into graphic detail of them being killed. Like some of the right hand Northmen, and like one of them was still like literally eating in a quarrel. One of the bolts from the crossbow caught him. Nigga through the fucking mouth and out the skull and shit. So like they go into fucking detail and all of that shit.
And Catelyn sees all this shit, bro. Yeah. Like Catelyn sees all this shit. Now, in the final scene, wasn't it Walder's simple fucking grandson?
It was a grandson. Yeah.
Jingle Bell.
Yeah, it was Jingle Bell.
Jingle Bell.
Yeah, it wasn't his fucking wife. It was Jingle Bell, nigga. And Catelyn is threatening Walder, like, I'm gonna kill this nigga, let my son go, and he spits that same line. He's like, why would I do that? Why would I let him get up and walk out? And she's like, I killed Jingle Bell, a son for a son, and he was like, well, first of all, it's a grandson. And that nigga ain't never, that lackwit ain't never did shit around here anyway. So,
like, and second off, I'll find out I'll get another. Like, I'll have another. You good?
Facts. And
that's it. And that's when Catelyn's throat is slit. Yeah, but also like I was saying earlier, Roose Bolton said Jaime Lannister sends his regards and not the Lannisters, which is a little bit of a subtle difference. But but they decided to change that.
And the Blackfish wasn't there. The Blackfish wasn't there. Blackfish wasn't at the Red Wedding. Like he wasn't even in attendance. He was a part of another whole nother thing that was going on, a part of Rob's battles and shit. So he wasn't there at all.
Yep. And then from Catelyn her throat being slitted, then she gets dumped into the river, and she has something further to come. Catelyn's story is not.
She becomes another character in the book.
Exactly. She becomes another character.
Fuck it. We can talk about that shit now. Fuck it, because it don't happen in the show, so it ain't like. So Catelyn becomes.
I wish they had gotten. I wish they had done that. I wish they had done that. That would have been so
didn't
great.
Put that shit in because they said it was too unrealistic in a world with dragons and fucking ice zombies.
And the niggas coming back to life anyway.
Right, and she was brought back to life by the same magic. It was Thoros of Mir, right?
It was Thoros, right. It was
Thoros of fucking Mir that got her out of. So the
same
nigga,
without brothers.
Same nigga that resurrected Beric Dondarrion, that nigga went and the fuck. Okay, so the same nigga that resurrected Beric Dondarrion, was the nigga that went and got Catelyn out of the river. Yes, and she becomes Lady Stoneheart, unable to speak because of how deep the cut was to her throat.
Wait, was she good or evil when she came back? Like, was she good or bad? Now I gotta go read it.
I mean,
she was bad.
I wouldn't say she was either. I wouldn't say she was good or bad. She continues on this crusade of revenge for her family. She just don't talk.
Yeah.
Wasn't her name like Lady Lionheart or something?
Lady Stoneheart.
Lady Stoneheart.
And she basically is taken in by the Brotherhood. Like I said, Thoros of Mir is the one that actually goes and resurrects her. He pulls her from the river and resurrects her and all that.
And she was walking around with that goddamn slit throat. She couldn't even talk.
Yeah, slit.
Like,
right.
Yeah,
and it was like she had like perpetual fucking tears running down her face or some shit.
Oh my god,
that's a lot.
I did hear
wild
about
as fuck, dog.
I heard about her.
Like in the wedding, she was originally supposed to be kept as a hostage, but she was clawing her goddamn face out when they killed Rob because she went mad. Like she was on some other shit in the book.
Yeah, she was going crazy. They had to kill her because she was in that bitch screaming and laughing and shit. Man, she was mad. So they cut her throat.
Before they even cut her throat, this is wrong. This is wrong. I know it's wrong. But I didn't know that they were going to cut her throat. But when they showed her, I was trying to figure out why her throat was so smooth and her skin was so wrinkly on her face. I was like, why would they put makeup on her throat?
So they finna cut that bitch open.
Yeah,
would you say the makeup wouldn't quite make up?
So they kept zooming in on that throat.
It was smooth. It was smooth. I'm like, why's your neck smooth and your face?
Oh, why you keep doing this? That's just like it's smooth.
This episode is honey pie.
Not the goddamn honey pie. Y'all niggas.
So yeah, man. So again, like, appreciate y'all doing that, man. Dropping y'all niggapedia knowledge on everybody.
Good job. Good job from fine ass Carlton and Leslie.
The fine ass niggapedia.
Hey man, you know what? I'll take where I can get it. Oh, good.
That was so random.
Hey, we increasing the family around this motherfucker by any means necessary. But god damn.
So this was a
like Cameron and Mason.
Intellectually.
Yo, that's wild.
So yeah, man. This was a great episode.
Fuck you, little Cersei.
This is a great recap. We had a lot of shit going on.
Ain't shit funny.
Once again, Celeste, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
birthday, Celeste.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Are you off tomorrow?
We know Podrick sitting over there waiting on me.
You know what? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That damn bird. That damn bird. I know that bird finna turn up.
That damn bird on your birthday.
That damn bird got some Hennessy over there. Right now. Waiting for
that damn bird got more than Hennessy.
That damn bird.
Wow.
So next week we'll be finishing up season 3. Season 3, episode 10.
Hey man, what the fuck we gonna do? Goddamn House of the Dragon on hold, man.
Thank you, Kylie.
Oh yeah,
that damn strike, boy.
What?
House of the Dragon on hold because of the strike.
Yeah, that's right. Shit, nigga, we need to get Unc back on here.
Shit, he ain't got shit else to do right now.
They
He might as well come kick it with us.
They need to go on and come up.
Wait, did they strike in England too? No?
So
how that shit work?
What I read on that is
the point. Masani ain't got shit to do either.
The union that they with, they not held to the same standard or whatever. So
they don't
they
allow
can still go.
In the UK.
You think black American actors to start going over there?
Unions.
like I think they
bunch of bloody
they can still go. So from what I read, they still record.
They probably treat their people better too.
Yeah, they record over there.
All they asking for is 2%. Give them that 2%.
They gotta pay them people, man.
Hurry up and figure that out, cause
pay these folks Hollywood to quit bullshitting.
I need my goddamn television.
I
need my show. I need to watch my stories.
I need my stories.
What was you about to ask, TK?
How do I leave this motherfucker?
Nah. So anybody got anything they want to add before we get the fuck out of here?
We back always on 50, hour and 40.
I don't know.
Well, we knew this was gonna go.
One of the greatest episodes in television history of television. Yeah. God damn it!
This shit was fun, man.
We knew this one was gonna, go a little longer than what we've been shooting for. So
wow, for this episode since we started this motherfucker.
Thank you for keeping us on track, TK.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was Mother's magical scar.
I like the prompts though. Like that shit helped a little bit. It helped.
It was a good.
Hey, you niggas was talking. TK put that picture up there on y'all ass. It was time to move the fuck on.
That's right. Like a
they want you to sing us out, Aretha Franklin.
The Queen Mother sing us out.
I was your lover and your
I know there are no guarantees, and that's the road to take your dances.
In 7 days of the
Queen Mother, somehow it seemed fair to me.
Oh my God!
I don't
Sing to us.
I don't shed no tears. You was never worth my time. No.
Ad-libs.
You getting your whole day wrong over there.
Hey,
that shit blinging though. It's blinging, baby. It is blinging.
And my baby got
why we can't have fucking nice things.
Lorenzo, Yokohama ties, bling bling.
That shit blinging though. I like that shit. Queen Mother, I like that shit. You put that shit on. You put the
and kept it on.
DK, can we ask him about if we started a group?
Do your damn, put that
Put the
shit
shades
on.
back on.
DK, can we ask him that real quick?
Put that shit on.
Say what?
Can we ask the folks if we started a group where they pull up on us?
Oh yeah.
I ain't fooling with y'all.
Go ahead, TK.
Will you niggas please
behave yourself?
Anyway, so look, we are deciding to make a Watch Them Thrones group on Facebook, strictly, what we doing in Game of Thrones and all that shit. So when we get it set up, we want all y'all to come through, like, share, follow, join, and we gonna keep this shit going.
Yep, it'll be.
And on that note, thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for rocking with us, and we'll see you next week for episode 10.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Mother got that shit from Bigger.
Working every day of the week.
Everything went smoothly.
Was that the time when no one else was there?